Hello there, everyone. TheAndrata here, and welcome back to episode 88 of our Enigmatica 6 Expert Let's Play series, where today we are automating Godforged block production, breaking, all the stuff, shard producing, whatever you want to call it. We're doing it. Let's get started. Welcome back, my friends, to another wonderful day here in the world of TheAndrata. I really wish that would have worked out for our magic area. I think it just looks cool. Even with the water flowing down, I think it looks cool. But yeah, it's basically it's donezo. Anyway, in between episodes, I worked on not terribly too much. The main thing I did was I got us our new blood orb, the magician's or the master blood orb. Let me tell you, it was a little bit close with my my spam clicking and self-sacrificing to get this because of these speed runes. I literally got down to, man, these lag spikes again. I literally just started, literally just loaded into the world. I'm going to count this one down to world gen because world gen's going on. If it continues happening again, I guess we'll reload again. It's sporadic. It's only happening sometimes. Anyway, as I was staberating myself, I got down to like 500 millibuckets in this, and I could not click fast enough to keep up. Luckily, it finished. It literally finished right before the thing emptied completely. So yeah, we have our Master Blood Orb, which means we can now move this back to the overworld. It also means we'll be able to work on getting our impure chalk and everything. Actually, we could honestly get this now that we have this, and then we just have to cook it up, but it takes 40,000. So before we get into the impure red chalk and all that stuff and all of that good jazz, I want to go ahead and get myself set up with a secondary blood altar to do our essencing, and then maybe work on automating like our get some displacement runes. I'll have to look at what the on the Discord for Enigmatica 6 there is a chart that has, how many displacement runes you would actually want for this. And we can look into automating the runic altar. The only thing that we wouldn't be able to do right now is cutting essence, because it's going to require rattlesnake rattles, but I can pop over to the desert, capture one, and we can throw that into our glyph farm. And then I have another Komodo dragon. I need to put it back into its little spawner here, because we have the Komodo dragon, we have it set up here for a Komodo dragon, and we have a spawn egg. We have a spawn egg, actually. I could just do it now, but that thing is killer and it's very violent, so maybe I won't do it now. Anyway, we have a spawn egg. Apparently it looks like what happened is I accidentally killed it, and our capturing got us a spawn egg. But yeah, anyway, that's where we're at with that. So what are we going to work on this episode? Well, I want to work on, if you looked at my inventory at all, you probably have guessed what we're going to be trying to do, and that is automating our Godforge. Since I am using entangled blocks so much as poor man ender chests and power transfer and everything, now we have the ability to make ender chests now. I could craft these, to be honest with you. I have dimensional storage crystals in the system. We can get the shadow steel, like we have fully capable of making ender chests at this moment. I kind of still like my setup here though with the entangled blocks. We'll see where we end up and how I end up ultimately doing it. But for now, we're going to stick with it, and I'm going to get the infrastructure set up for Godforge blocks, because we're using a lot of our shards, these things here. Not that we don't have we have an okay amount, but we don't have a lot, right? And we need a lot of them. They're used for, like the Osiris shards and the Horus shards are used for dimensional mine shafts and for spirited crystals. We're using them to make the Master Corporea sparks for the entangled blocks. It doesn't matter which kind, but we're using them. So I want to get God shards automated, at least to a small degree, and then, go from there and see where we end up with everything. So let's get started with that. So I I didn't actually do it, but I mapped it out in between episodes, and this is the stuff that we're going to need for this if we use XNet to manage this. So we're going to do it. We're going to try this and see how well this works to get it fully automated. And we're doing it over here in our factory because I need access to create for our deployer in order to actually break the Godforged blocks. I did try to use a modular router with a breaker module. Does not work. I also tried to use it with a activator module and putting the Nebu hammer in the slot and using an activator module for it. Does not do it. I don't think that there's any way to break the Godforged block other than manually doing it or by using a create deployer in punching fist mode. So just something to keep in mind. But anyway, so what are we going to need for this? Well, we're going to need XNet. We're going to set this up using an XNet controller. So XNet's going to be our main item flow management thing on this. We're going to set ourselves up with, and how did I have this laid out? I think, let's see, you are the barrel. And before we even get started, I want to just show you guys down here. I did set up, so what I had there was an entangled barrel. I have a barrel set up here with an exporter, with a crafting card, and a regulator upgrade. The regulator upgrade is important because it allows me to say, hey, keep one Godforged block in this barrel. I don't want to fill this up with Godforged blocks. We don't have enough shards for that, and that would be way overkill. But if it can keep one inside of this barrel at all times, and then this barrel is linked to our factory, that way, you know, we have this here, we can pull out of this the one that we need, and then as it's processing, another one will be created and put in there, and then that way we're not like putting a ton extra in there, but we're also not hurting for them or anything, right? Let's go ahead and set this modular router up here. This is where it's going to place the Godforged block here, and we have a placer and a polar module. We are going to set up our fluid encapsulator here. And actually, I think I did this way. That way, if we ever want to expand, well, that doesn't matter. That way, and then I want this has to face this way so it can place in the front because that's how it's configured. It doesn't have to, but that's just how I have it set up. And then our Godforged block. Okay. So let's get ourselves some room to work with down here because we're going to have to set up connectors. And the important thing with this is that we are going to be setting up advanced connectors on this, not regular connectors. Advanced connectors, fairly cheap, just caulks of end and diamonds. But they allow us to move more power out of this. Not that it's necessary, but they also allow us to configure where we are going to be pulling from. The Godforged block is specific. You need to input items to the top, you need to pull items from the bottom, and you need to insert the lava buckets from the left or the right hand side. So we have to be very specific as to where we're doing that. And instead of adding connectors to every side, we can add one connector to the bottom, and the advanced connectors can spoof the other side. So that's what's important here. Okay, so then we just need to get some sort of power. So we can set this up here, but I have to go one lower, and then I need a universal cable. And then we're going to set you to be on extract. There. And there we go. And luckily we have our controller already had some power in it, so I don't have to worry about kickstarting it. But if we say you are going to insert, you're going to extract. This is a power channel. I had already made this because, well, we needed power. Create. Extract. There we go. So now it's going to extract from there, though we do need to... Oh, I thought it was getting to be nighttime. Okay. We're good. So we're going to go ahead and insert power into our fluid encapsulator, and that should be the only thing that needs power. By the way, I did try. I was thinking about doing this with a crafter from RF Tools, so I did go ahead and make one of these. And we were going to let the crafter handle the creation of the Godforged block. Then I realized that there's really no point. We can entangle RF tools, or we can entangle a barrel with refined storage, setting it to export, and we can let refined handle the crafting, and then all the items can pump back into our storage system, and then we don't have to worry about exporting out any of the shards into our crafter and everything. So we have an extra crafter in our system for future crafting purposes. But anyway, okay, so there is our base infrastructure set up, minus the one important thing, which is going to be the deployer from create. Just don't want to get any water over here. Okay, so the deployer is going to have to sit somewhere here. We're going to have a block sit here. The Godforged block is going to sit here, so the deployer needs to be right below it, but 2 blocks. So we're going to set this up like so. He's going to sit here, and I need to get myself out of here. Let me out of here. They're just making a whole big mess. Okay, so, but he's backwards. I've been using the actual tools instead of my morphing tool lately, mainly because sometimes the morphing tool drives me nuts. Rotate up. There we go. So now he's going to be he's going to be facing up, and since he's 2 blocks up, he's going to break anything that's in this area. So what we need to do is set our Nebu hammer here. We're going to set it to have a filter. We're going to put it in its hand, and then we're going to say, hey, you're going to punch with that thing, and it's going to make a fist. We also need to set up a connector on this guy because we need to be able to extract out of him. Really? We need to be able to extract out of the deployer because the deployer, when it breaks the block, is actually going to pick up the items. So then we have power here. We can get some vertical gearboxes, some shafts, and we can get power to this fairly easy. Maybe a regular gearbox. Your power's there. Yeah, we should be okay. So if we vertical gearbox, shaft. Watch out, it'll hit you. There we go. So now he's going to break anything that shows up in that block space. So we can go ahead and replace this so we can actually cover it up. Though again, if we do stand in front of this, it's still going to hit us. So just be careful. Okay, but that takes care of our breaking of the blocks. I do wish that was rotated, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference. It'll still punch it no matter what. So what do we need to do? Well, first things first, so we got power into this. Let's take care of our movement of our lava, right? I'm going to put my lava tank up here. Eventually, when we get infinite lava set up, we'll be able to handle that a little better. But for now, we're just going to have it set up like this. So you're going to input the lava. Let's go ahead and right-click you. I don't know if that's going to maintain... Like, is that going to auto-fill? Does this push out? I'm going to assume it does. So that way this should stay full. Okay. So what we need to do is lava buckets need to go from the fluid encapsulator to the Godforge, and then empty buckets need to be pulled out of the Godforge into the fluid encapsulator. So we're going to set up, we're going to do an items channel. And we're going to turn off processing on this for now, okay? Because we don't need it to do anything just yet. And let's get ourselves a bucket. Okay. And we're going to heavily use filters to make sure that we do this properly. So what we're going to say is our fluid encapsulator, right? We're going to turn on output from the bottom. And you don't need to auto output. Auto input's fine, though. So we're going to say from the bottom of the fluid encapsulator, we are going to extract lava buckets, and we are going to insert those into our Godforge. And we're going to insert those from the left side, so east or west, it doesn't really matter. Insert, bam. So theoretically, if I turn processing on this channel, and I put a bucket in here, it should pull it, put it in here. Bam. Okay, perfect. That's what we want to see. And then we need to set up another channel because we need to be able to extract from this, and we can't extract and insert at the same time. So we're going to set up another channel. Turn off processing for now. We are going to extract. Oh, and I just used my empty bucket, didn't I? What a dingus. We are going to extract empty buckets from the same side. So what did I do? The west. And we're going to insert them into here. And you're going to insert the empty bucket. Okay, perfect. So that is going to extract lava buckets from here. It's going to insert into the Godforge. Once the Godforge gets an empty bucket, it will pull it back out and it will put it back into the fluid encapsulator. And we should have lava cycling between the two. Perfect. So what's next? Well, next we're going to set up our extraction from our entangled block to our modular router. So let's go ahead and get our entangled block, and we're going to set this one to be an extract, and you are going to extract Godforged blocks. It shouldn't matter because it's going to just, that's all that's available to this, but we're going to set it up as an extract just to be safe. And right here, we're going to insert Godforged block. You can hear that it already did it because I had, already set it up, and it's going to keep going. I want to turn processing off on this channel though, real quick. Turn off. Because what's happening is what I didn't want to have happen, right? I need to set up the regulator augment to only allow one in here, right? And what's funny is that this is showing, oh, you know what? Because this has a polar. I don't even need the polar anymore. I was going to have this set up with an interface, and we were going to put this in our basement, but yeah, this should work. Okay, so you are going to have the regulator augment, and you... Actually, now that I think about it, we have to control it over here, don't we? Insert. Only one. So now if I turn on processing on this channel again, we should not get any more in here. Perfect. We didn't even need the regulator augment. XNet is fantastic. So now we have an extra 7 inside of here, but that's okay. Now it'll only ever put 1 in there, and we don't have to worry about it. And it's just going to always place in front of it. Right now, though, our deployer is stuck because the deployer needs items extracted. It's got an item in there, and it needs to insert that into the Godforge. So what we're going to do is set from here. We're going to turn off processing again, just so that we, while we're working on this, it's not going to do anything. So we're going to not do it on this channel. We're going to have to set up another item channel. And we're going to say, hey, Mr. Deployer, we are going to extract from you, and we are going to insert into the Godforge, and we're going to insert from the top. Insert from the top of there into the Godforge. And I forgot to turn off the processing on the channel, so it done did the thing, but it done did the thing, so it's okay. Now, the bucket should have been removed from this, and it wasn't, which is concerning. We're going to have to figure out which side we have to remove the buckets from. And I thought that it was going to be maybe the east side. Or did I turn off processing? I turned off processing on that channel. Okay. How about you? Are you off? You're off too. Yeah, extract the bucket, insert into the fluid encapsulator from the top. There we go. That's what it was. At the bottom is set. I can set the bottom to an insert and an extract. It doesn't really matter. It can insert or extract from either side. We'll set it to the down, though, just to be safe. Okay, so we have Lava Bucket in here. We have Geb's Undoing. We have a new artifact in here that got pulled from the deployer, which is perfect. Now we have our God Shards, and we need to take care of those. We need those to go somewhere. We need to extract them into something. And I didn't think about that part. Where do we want to extract these to? We could set up a stable wormhole. Just set this up like right here. And we can say, okay. And we can say from the Godforge, another item. We're going to turn off processing. We're going to insert into the stable wormhole. And we're going to extract from the Godforge. And I believe the extract on this needs to be from the down in order to get those out. We're going to pull a stack and we'll let it go as fast as it possibly can. So we have Seth God Shards in here now. If we go ahead and turn on processing on this channel, bam, it removed them and they automatically went into our system. And now we have some more Seth God Shards. And that's it. That is automating of the Godforge. The only thing that we're going to struggle with is Nebu. When it comes to the point where we run out of Nebu because we're using Nebu ingots to make the Godforge blocks. The nice thing with refined storage in its processing of this, if we look at the shards, refined storage is going to use the shard that has the most. So as we are creating Godforge blocks and we're breaking them, eventually it will all equalize. And then, we'll have 11 Osiris and 10 Horus, so it'll pull 1 Osiris and some Horus, and it'll eventually equalize all of these to roughly the same number of shards available, because it's not going to use any Montu until we have more Montus than Osiris or whatever. So right now, it did blow through our extra Osiris that we had. But look, we just got more Horus. So now it's going to use Horus to build. And then we're going to, like I said, eventually it'll equalize and we're just going to keep gaining more and more and more stuff. But yeah, that's automated God sharding, essentially. Expandable too. We could set up another Godforge if we wanted to, and have it import into this, and then the fluid encapsulator could handle both. We could round robin the insertion of the lava buckets, or we don't even really have to round robin because it's only going to use so much. You are low power. Do I not have you inserting? I do not. There we go. Now you're good on power. But yeah, there we go. I like it. That's automated Godforged forging, God shard farming, essentially. Don't have to do anything, nothing too crazy about it. We just let it run and it'll automatically get us God shards over time, which is great. So that way we can continue making the entangled blocks that we're going to need. And it's fairly compact. We could make it even more compact if we really wanted to. We could put the XNet on the back here and we could stack these instead of laying them out in a row, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference. It honestly doesn't matter too much. So we have it going. It's working great. I like it. I love it. Perfect. Okay, so then that begs the question of, what are we going to do for the rest of the episode? What I really want to do is get Montu's Strike in there. That way Montu's can... I can have that go, and then we can put this extra Godforged block that I have in there. Lava bucket can go away, you can go away, regulator module, you go there, and there we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, basically that's that. Our next goals in the mod pack are to, continue expanding onto things. Like I said, I want to get our displacement rune. We need to get our dimensional mine shaft going and our impure red chalk. If we take a look at our quest books, oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. I also went ahead and made the bloody bee. It is a bee that was made with a bronze bee that I had to just bloody bee in a jar. It was just a bronze bee put into our thing with 50,000 LP. Bam. So we have a bloody bee in here. Uses a blood mushroom. He's happy. He's having fun. The thing with that bee is it makes slates, so we can get blank slates out of it, which is great. We also get these slate ampules, which contain 500 LP in them. Yeah, we're just letting him run, do his thing. And we're filling up on ender honeycombs and clockwork honeycombs. Eventually I'll process those, but I really just don't want to deal with it. And apparently a nickel chunk got stuck in there, which was stopping processing. I don't even know how that would have gone in there. Like, what converted into a nickel chunk? You doing good on your honey? Now, this thing doesn't actually run. It doesn't burn any honey, I don't believe, because it's not actually doing anything. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. So let's see what our next steps are. So for the tech mods and everything, we kind of sort of already did this. I just need to pick up a metallurgic infuser and an infused alloy. So we can grab that. Maybe. You're gonna count it, or you actually want me to get the metallurgic infuser first? That's totally doable too. No, you don't want to count either of them, or is there a prerequisite? There's a prerequisite. We have to do this route. Okay, well, forget you. We'll get there eventually. I'm sure we're going to be making more of those basic prepared chips. The issue is that these never touched my inventory. They were always in our system. Our next goal really is going to be to set up our dissolution chamber from industrial foregoing, which is going to be a mechanical craft of this recipe. I have started working on teaching the system some of these things, though now that I think about elite mechanical pipes, oh, I didn't know we could make reinforced alloys. You need lithium dust, though. Lithium from mechanism, I don't think that's going to be a viable option. Yeah, you need control circuits. Which is interesting that I'm going to make reinforced alloys before I make advanced control circuits, but hey. So it looks like Pneumaticraft has a lithium dust recipe and a thermopneumatic processor with liquid lithium. And liquid lithium is made in a refinery controller with brine, and it's going to take 10 millibuckets of brine, convert it to 1 millibucket of liquid lithium. Oh my. And then brine is made in a refinery controller again with water. Wow. That is not very good numbers there at all. But I'm going to assume we can't make these. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's how we're going to get to our dissolution chamber and get to ourselves to some lithium, which is required for our elite or our reinforced alloy. And then we can go ahead and get our dissolution chamber. But I think this is going to be our next basic step here, is the dissolution chamber. Once we get that, we'll be able to get elite mechanical pipes. We'll unlock the ability to use the dissolution chamber for a lot of things. It makes crafting a lot of things easier. Look, we can even get botany pots now if we wanted to. Infinity range booster, molten slime steel, eternium ingot. Honestly, we could get the infinity range booster. I imagine this is going to use buku amounts of power, though, like ridiculous amounts of power. We're going to need more than one. Actually, you know what? If we automate this through refined storage, we're not going to need more than one. I do want to point out we are using currently 7,000 RF per tick. So we really should, instead of focusing that route, I think we should focus this route for now and get ourselves our reactor. The only thing that's really stopping me from the reactor is the blocks of nitro crystals, which is made here with our weak blood shards. And remember, the weak blood shards can be made now that we have a master blood orb. We can actually do this recipe to make 10 using these brew of crimson shade. And you may be wondering, well, TheAndrata, where are you going to get brew of crimson shade? First off, it's fairly simple to craft, but I have some that we got from when we were exploring in the what is that, an incense stick. I have 2 of them, which will give me 20 weak blood shards right off the bat. Bam, bam. And it drains 20,000 LP from our system. I don't think I have 20,000 LP in the system, but we can get 20,000 LP. Yeah, I only have 15,000, but we can easily get 20,000 LP, and then I can make more of these weak blood shards, which are used to make our nitro crystals. So it's 2 to 16. We're going to need a total of, let's get my crafting calculator out. We're going to say nitro crystals. Actually, we're going to do nitro crystal blocks because we need 6 blocks of this, right? So we're going to say, okay, you are this recipe, and then you are this recipe. So we're going to need a total of 8 weak blood shards, 4 nether stars, 12 blaze honeycombs, some mage bloom fibers, some blazing blood, and that'll get us everything that we need to craft these. Okay, that'll get us 64, which gets us 6. So probably let's just do 10. That needs 6 nether stars and 12 weak blood shards. What about 9? 8? I just want to do 1 craft of the weak blood shard for now. Okay, so we can make 8 blocks of nitro off of the 10 weak blood shards that we craft. So yeah, we'll get into that next episode. I guess I'll, in between, I'll farm up some withers. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Why am I sleeping? I'll just pop over to the end and I'll build some, get some withers and build them underneath the end portal so I can just whack them with Gebzubermite here and not have to worry about taking any damage from them or them fighting me, basically trap their head in the block above. But yeah, that's basically it for today's episode. If you enjoyed our automation of the Godforged blocks, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.